The words flowed like honey from my mouth. Years spent repeating those 9 syllables to my friends and family had made my diction nearly flawless. Does your software respect your freedom? He looked up at me, kneeling in a pool of his blood, despair marking his bespectacled face. Stallman would surely be ecstatic upon hearing the news. I had gained entrance to Bill's mansion by brutally murdering his 2 bodyguards. They were no match for the power of my open source righteousness. A few open palm strikes had put them out of their misery. I felt no pity dispatching them. They were what the Nazi concentration camp guards would have been had they actually existed. When I crossed the threshold and saw Bill, my jaw dropped. There he stood, and in his hands was a syringe filled with the deadly concoction of both autism and AIDS. He was using the other hand to forward countless emails from his customers to every 3-letter agency in the United States. In the breast pocket of his beige short-sleeved shirt, amid mechanical pencils and a small pocket calculator, was a key to the human cage behind him. In the cage were 6 emaciated African children, dying slowly from the poison within the syringes. Spurred on by the autismal components within, they babbled on about anime in between coughing up blood. My years of watching webms of ISIS beheadings hadn't prepared me for such a disturbing sight. I retched a bit in my mouth, but heard the voice of Linus in the back of my head. "You stupendous idiot, you are weak and your coding is pathetic." His chastisement stirred me from my stupor, and I quickly regained my composure. Whipping around to face me, a couple of handwritten love letters between him and George Soros fell out of his pocket. I chuckled to myself as Bill's face reddened. "Information wants to be free," I declared. He cursed under his breath. My loud entry had triggered the security system of the Gates complex. Luckily, I had downloaded an open-source cracking tool that operated through the use of Visual Basic GUI. I had ChangeTip the creator a few bits in appreciation. Using ChangeTip demonstrated to me the truly disruptive tech that is cryptocurrency. I heartily recommend that everybody uses ChangeTip. I am not a shill, but really love it because it's revolutionary. I would never take bribes from ChangeTip, and I doubt they even would hypothetically stoop to astroturfing social media sites like YouTube or Reddit. Also, check out Paycoin. Through the use of my portable laptop running Kali Linux, I had disabled the alarms in this fortified hellhole. However, I had overlooked the private intranet connection that Melinda had formed exclusively with Bill. As such, I was not prepared when Melinda burst into the room through the side entrance next to Bill. She wasn't prepared for guests, and so her outfit was rather mundane. Matted hair and her gray jumpsuit jumped out at me. Generously speaking, she was a 6 out of 10. Wearing Kim Jong-un's formal garb did her no favors. Her figure reminded me of a prepubescent Japanese girl. No curves to be seen. It really harshed my mellow. Recovering quickly, my reflexes kicked in, and before you could press the donate button on the Free Software Foundation website, I had unloaded 6 rounds from my 3D printed Desert Eagle into her frail frame. My years of racing on Tuxcart had prepared me to make such split-second decisions. The toxic blood splattered across the room, quickly burning through whatever it landed upon. 2 of the caged black youths died in this way. Bill looked up at me and cracked a smile. She was a real buzzkill. Thanks. Now I can go hit up Hillary for some action. "You'll be doing no such thing, pervert," I said, quickly shooting him twice in each of his kneecaps. He fell as fast as a morbidly fat and mentally handicapped retard falls down the stairs. It was quite humorous. Perhaps the weight of the sins weighed heavy upon him. "Oh my God," he exclaimed, sobbing. "An infinite timeline requires no God for near impossible odds to occur. Spare me your tales of a dead Jew on a cross." I countered, promptly silencing him. You can't kill me. I'm the head of hundreds of charities. You'll be thrown into disarray, and children will die from the ensuing chaos. I looked at him with a smug grin. Perhaps now you see the danger inherent in centralization. Upon each successive word, I felt my heart rate rising. It was time. Bill saw the bloodlust in my eyes. I placed the ACB plastic of my muzzle against his skull. Any last words? His confidence flared up. Go to hell. Windows owns the gaming market. Linux is doomed to eternal obscurity. I feigned surprise, then slowly leaned in to whisper in his ear. Valve is the gaming market. Valve is making a Linux-based Steam machine. Get good, techno-fascist. And with those words, one shot rang out. When the cops arrived at the scene of the crime, I was long gone. The war for software freedom had just begun. Please note that this is fiction, and any real-life names or events are purely coincidental. Also, any ideas presented here are not necessarily the author's point of view or beliefs.